There we go. And good morning, everyone. I know I'm difficult to understand, so I'm going to turn this over immediately to Sandy, who by now I believe you have all met. And she's going to share a little bit more about our thoughts on putting this on YouTube and so forth. And then we'll go from there. So, Sandy, with if you would be some time.
Okay. Um, Kind of when we started out, let's see, how many, can you tell me, Lynn, how many people who are new never were on the call before? How
I
many
think everyone that's here was on the call before. Karen, were you on the call before? I can't remember, but Rafi, no, and
Yes, I
but
was.
McFeely has been here. You were, Karen. Yes, okay.
Okay.
everyone.
Well,
So Rafi has not been on the call
Okay.
and
before.
I'm sure if we started the process, Rafi would pick it up real quick.
Oh,
The only
I think
thing
they've
I
all
would do
seen
is
the
I would put
recording.
up a big tea table.
Yeah.
So
In fact, let
I
me do that now.
so it became clear to me as we were doing this that it is an incredible teaching tool. And when Bob, first told me I'd like to use this your method to have you train coaches in your method, I could take normally to train a coach, it could be anywhere between could come up to 200 hours. One person I've been training for more than 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. It depends on the knowledge of the person I'm training, but it is quite an in-depth process to be able to coach others. And a client or a student can only go as far as the teacher has gone. So it's very important for each person who wants to be a coach of a process like this that they have worked through their own process, and gone and taken it as far as they could possibly take it to be as clear as they can possibly be, in order to take others to the maximum clearing they could go. But of course, any amount of awakening or clearing is always optimal. It doesn't matter if I've done it to the maximum or not to the maximum. I'm always moving in advancement if I'm clearing my ego and not believing any of my stories or traumas or anything that has come up in my whole ego illusion. So any amount is absolutely important. Um, so normally I've never taught a group like this in this way, and it is an incredible teaching tool. And I did want to use it on YouTube for the public. I understand from Lynn that that's not what everyone else wants. So if we do have a person who volunteers, ultimately, I would say like this: everything that I think, feel, and believe is, of course, energetically known to everyone. And there are no real private thoughts. So anything that we would say on a clearing like this, actually, everyone has similar things to clear. There are no unique, I don't see, I mean, everyone has their unique movement to it or the unique thoughts on it. But ultimately, we're all clearing similar themes. And all those themes I talk about in my book called I Just Want Peace. And I meet those themes in all my private sessions and my coaching calls that I do, and private sessions that I do in my home, and little trainings that I do, or big trainings. I meet those themes always. So anybody who's willing to put it out there for everybody to learn, it's that would be optimal. And if there's nobody who wants to clear like that, so others learn, okay, that's fine too. I don't have expectations. That's one thing you'll see in my chart. All expectations lead to disappointments. I'm just present. And I never thought about it in terms of in the beginning when Bob asked me to teach people YouTube, not YouTube. These are things that people actually ask me. Could we put it on YouTube? I hadn't even thought about YouTube in that way when I first started. So yeah. But I was excited as to what I think these calls have done and how much it has given people who are listening. So that's mainly what's important for me here. Okay. Would anybody like to say anything or ask any questions or like me to talk to any particular part of what I've already talked to or haven't talked to? I also want to say to people that on Thursday night, My Course in Miracles group, which normally meets 6 to 8 PST time on a Zoom call and in person at my house, where we'll work with the perceived purpose of sickness and how is healing accomplished, part of the teacher's manual, which is something that I have worked with countless times. I must have read these sections 100 times and worked with countless people in a process to help them look at the condition they have and what its purpose is, because we all remember from the teacher's manual, or may remember, that it says, if you satisfy the purpose of the condition, you don't need to have the condition anymore. You can just let it go and it will vanish or be taken from you. So I've seen it happen in several cases. I've seen it happen in all cases, but I've seen it happen in several cases that a person let go of a condition. And before I ever did the part on the clearing for letting go of a condition, I actually did many clearings with them on all aspects of their life. So it wasn't just one clearing on a condition. We were clear on what was the major points that they were actually clearing. So that's where it came to. Okay. Are there any people who want to say something or have a question or want to talk to something in particular?
Sandy, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your open-mindedness and understanding of the situation. And I also want to say to folks who are here through our regular group, we do talk about a lot of stuff that goes on YouTube. I'm not sure. And I have had people who have come and said, please take that off. And I have done that. But for the most part, we are very open with our experiences, because we do know that it is a very good teaching opportunity for other people to relate, other people to know that we all have this, we're all in the same boat. So if anyone would like to go through a clearing with Sandy, and I would really recommend it, because I think that it is extremely helpful. We can talk about later if you want to put it on YouTube or not. Depends on what
That's
comes
correct.
out.
That
You don't have to decide right
correct.
now.
That is correct, Lynn. And also I want to say that when I wrote my book, I never thought I would actually put in all the things that I put into it about myself. My entire life, I hid nothing in that book. And, I was first very concerned about writing all these things down and having people read it. But I then felt, well, why not? Do we have any secrets? I just want to say secrets are things I wouldn't share with someone. I don't have a secret. It would have me. Any secret that I would ever have would own me, would control me at every moment to be known. So quite honestly, nothing happened by writing down all these parts that I wrote down. Some of it in these trainings, I thought I would never divulge or say. Nothing happened. People said, this is an incredible book. I've learned so much by reading it. And that was its purpose. I've never seen the book make money. It doesn't make money. So the people who have read it, in order to make money on it, I have to do a huge marketing campaign on it. So people have told people about it. They've shared it with others. So, that's how I would say it gets marketed. And I feel good about every single aspect of the stories that I told in there, which I thought in my ego mind I would never tell. So we are really transparent, because energetically, everything I think, feel, and believe is being transmitted to everyone. Maybe not the specifics, but anything that I'm holding on to. My greatest desire was asked me by a group I was in yesterday. What would be my greatest desire? My greatest desire would be to put my method out on TV so that people could use it and understand it at such a level that they would get it and be able to clear their conflicts with everybody in the world they had a conflict with, or a limited belief or a projection on them, like I don't like them, or they're after me, or they're saying bad things about me. That is my real desire, because in that way, we would end the world's war. If I end the war in my mind, I will end the war singly for everyone if we all did it together in unison or in synchronicity. So to me, this is the most important thing we could ever do, is clear our minds, and clear it specifically to our own ego illusion story. So normally when I start this out with a client, and all my clients are my friends, if I didn't want to work with them and really see them through to their nth degree, which would be freedom and peace, I wouldn't work with them. If I didn't think I could do that with them and I didn't have that commitment with them, I wouldn't work with them. I would say, I can give you this person to work with you. But each one of them is a whole world that I take into my mind, and I'm following it kind of like a story that you would follow to pick up all the pieces, like a detective would look into something as complete crime and figure that out. So I'm doing the same thing with each person I work with. I'm tracking something in their entire mind and going on a journey with them into their unique ego mind. And how I start this journey is by asking them to write down all the traumas before that they know about before age 7. And the belief that comes up with that trauma. Then we go from age 7 to say 14 and the belief that comes up with that. And we continue on through their life, then looking at every conflict that they've ever had with partners, friends, family. So it's quite an in-depth study before it comes to the clearing part even. And then I really know, what are we clearing here? And why are we clearing it? So, that is the kind of journey that I take with each person. And I love doing it. Of course, you all may remember that my personal assistant that I had for, say, maybe at least 4 years, who the last year was virtual, was murdered by her boyfriend because she wanted to have him leave. And he went into a huge reaction of his tremendous ego and shot her. And it was such a shock to me because I knew them both. And in following, I didn't have much information on her story of how she got to that point with him. But when I thought about it, I put it together of what was her journey of thinking everyone was abusing her and in her life and feeling abused, and then having an ultimate abuser in this man that eventually killed her, which I would say she never would have believed that could have happened in a million years. So there is a trackable story, and each one of you that I've talked to, I see a trackable story. In my own life, I see a trackable story. There's no person I don't see a trackable story with, and how the belief came there and how the clearing could be optimal. But it might not be one clearing. It could be, we never clear the same thing twice. We clear aspects of it. And we're coming to the main point in general. We come to a main thing, but separation, the clearing that I did with Mickey, that ultimately everyone is clearing some form of separation with someone, either from themselves, from their birth, from someone they know. And I'm friends, and I think Bob said this about himself, I'm friends with everybody who I've ever been in relationship with, who was one of my partners, a male partner. I actually have sought them out and talked to them and gone over where they are and all kinds of things. I never cut off a relationship, because to me, relationships are forever. They are never cut off. They're ongoing and they're into eternity. These are the mighty companions that we came to this earth with in the illusion, and they are around us, and we will recognize them energetically by actually feeling that we know them. So the ones that we supposedly left the real world with, which we never did, of course, that we had around us energetically, we probably have them around us right now too. And some of them are amazing, mighty, holy relationship companions, and some of them are playing roles that we were assigned to each other, that we agreed to do before we came here, to act out this conflict, and ultimately and optimally to clear it. I've said a lot. All right. Is there anyone who would like to make any comments, questions?
I'll volunteer to be the patient of the clearing today, and I have no problem with mine being recorded.
He said he'll volunteer to do the clearing.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Do we have any questions before we come to the clearing? Do we have any questions or things people want to say or ask? It's like making love. We want to get into this in a gentle, slow way. We're not in a rush yet. Okay.
If someone else who hasn't been through the clearing would like to go for it, I mean,
Yeah, I
Bob's
want to
already
see. Yeah,
experienced it,
thank
so
you. Yeah, thank you, Bob, for volunteering. Is there anyone else who would like to volunteer? Is there anyone first before we get to that part? Are there any questions?
McKaylee has her hand up.
Say it again.
McKaylee.
Okay, McKaylee, what would you like to say?
Well, I'd like a gentle clearing, if that's okay, Sandy, today. I'm ready. I've been watching your classes. So.
Okay, okay. Does anybody have, before we get to that, do we have anybody who has any questions or things they want to say? No. Okay. No. Okay. All right. Let's go through the room and just say who's on the call with us so I can see. Who do we have?
Karen,
Okay. Anyone else?
Rafi,
Okay. And that's your first time, right?
as far as I know.
As far as you know, right? Well, I'm sure that we know each other in other ways. I'm sure. Yeah. Who else?
Renee is here. I'm in a car on the way to Monterey, so I'm just listening.
Okay. On the way to Monterey, California. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One of my places I've lived.
Ah,
Okay.
cool.
Any other people? Do we have?
McKaylee?
Okay. And you volunteered to do the clearing. Mhm.
Yes.
And
And-
Elizabeth is here.
Who else?
Elizabeth is here
Oh.
also.
Okay, Elizabeth. Okay. All righty. Okay, so we're up to McKaylee. So McKaylee, what would you like to clear on? Tell me something. In order to do the clearing, I have to know something of the story that we're working with here. You do realize that?
Yes. Okay. Well, and you have my permission for this to go on YouTube. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
Very generous.
yes, suicide has been repeated in my experience, my classroom in this life. And my first husband committed suicide. Um, I had I've had two best friends commit suicide. The last person that committed suicide was just 2.5 years ago, was my best friend. And she actually texted me and called me, but wouldn't answer my calls back. And she did it. And so it's a repeated pattern, repeated going on. And then one of my sons, oh, one son is doing great. The other one's doing good, but he mentioned suicide. So
Right.
I have a repeated pattern in this classroom life experience of suicide. And so I'd like to clear that.
Right. Right. Quite honestly, this subject made the news yesterday. If people were watching the news, because there was a young man, 16 years old, who committed suicide with the aid of chat, with the chat AI and the chat, and the chat told him how to do it. He researched it, and it was tracked by his mother and father, and they're going through a whole process about this. And I was quite amazed by it myself yesterday. But it is a common theme, suicide, and I'm glad you bring it up. What does suicide mean to you? Because remember, this is your unique story. So, what does it mean when a person wants to commit suicide? What do you feel about it? And what's your greatest ego thoughts on it? That we'd have to know in order to do the clearing, of course.
Okay, Sandy. Well, my past, I believed the body was real. So my past thoughts with suicide were a lot of grief. However, my present thoughts on suicide is that they just don't like their experience, the classroom, and they want to leave. But I believe that the classroom will need to be repeated for them again, and it might be even a harder lesson. So that's my current thoughts on suicide.
Right. Okay. And have you talked to your son about? Of course, you must have talked to him about what his thoughts about suicide in relationship to him, right?
Yeah, it's almost a form I see when I step back and observe it, a form of manipulation to say it to me as a parent so that he can get what he wants,
Okay. You
so that
didn't.
I'll give
Yeah.
in to him.
Right. You didn't sincerely mean that he thought he didn't want to live anymore and that he was no longer going to be involved in life. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So and how does it relate to, how does this theme of suicide relate to your own family of origin, like your mother and your father? And do you have any brothers and sisters?
I do. Well, my mother and my father, I've had to try to delete victim mentality because my mother's been a refugee and a prisoner of war during World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, and my grandfather too. So that's carried in the form, I guess, that although they were, my grandfather was very optimistic and he survived the prison camp. He got out. He was able
Wow.
to get out. So, but I noticed a repeated pattern within my own family of victim mentality, which
Right.
I'm trying to erase. And then my first husband was a Vietnam vet that did combat duty. So, yeah.
Right. Do you feel that people who are committing suicide, the ones that you've mentioned, feel victimized by life?
Yes, they feel they want to point the finger. It's a blame game.
Okay. And just say a little bit more.
They don't like their life experiences and they're not willing to look within. That's what I noticed. They're open uh, to listen a little, but then they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work, the step-by-step process.
Right.
And so they'd rather just give up. They think there's something better if they leave this dream, this reality, this hologram.
Right. So they've opted out.
Yes.
Rather than work through their process and look to the actually what I would call clearing what their belief is, clearing their ego thought, like that this certainly the idea that I'm a victim or that something can happen to me against my will would almost be the definition, according to A Course in Miracles, that we would call the ego.
Yes.
And everybody has different ways to view the outside world, like having maybe the IRS have a question about them, or did they pay? Like I had that experience where they lost my money and I could have gone into a really projected state and believed they're after me or they want this or that. Instead of doing that, they somehow in my ego illusion I've created that they lost my money. At some level I'm involved in it. At some level, energetically, I'm co-creator of this dream with them. So I can't just put everything and blame others and everything that's happening to me. I have to take and I do like taking responsibility for sourcing my own movie here with God and the universe and Holy Spirit. So it's a question here. I had a friend commit suicide, and he told me, just like maybe other people have had the experience, I'm not going to kill myself. I was very concerned, and he's definitely going to work it through. And then he decided to jump on a train track and kill himself. And a psychic told me right after that he was sorry, that he really thought it was a good idea, but once he did it, it wasn't. That's what a psychic told me about the story. But it is a common theme to think that we're victims and that we have no choice, and that's actually what we're clearing, and that we're subject to anybody or taking authority or power over us. That could be part of the clearing. So in order to do the clearing, we have to have an overall clear, positive intention of where we want this to go. So how would you state the intention, Michaela?
My positive intention is that I am here to be joyful and to experience the love and to go through the classroom with love, and also to help my brother, take my brother's hand along with me, that I can help another person through this classroom together. Like you had brought up earlier about relationship, that you're friends with all your past relationships. That's my also the way that I am. I try to be friends with everybody. I don't just X people out.
Yeah. Xing people out is what I call separation. So
Yes.
I would X anyone out. Yes, I feel
Yes.
So the part that you put out so far, Michaela, is the end part of the intention. First,
Okay.
we have to have like a beginning part. Like my purpose here is to look at any aspect of my ego mind that is involved in any aspect of these suicides or these people giving up or these people deciding to opt out and see how it pertains to me in any way. Because that's what we're actually doing in the clearing. We're looking at how I own this whole state. It's a similar idea to that subject called Ho'oponopono in a certain way. I own it in my reality. It's happening in my world. Therefore, my intention is to find out anything in my own ego mind that pertains to people opting out, I opting out or not going for what I need to go for. In other words, a clearing is about my mind. It's kind of like what we call cleaning the house, rotor, going to the bottom core of cleaning something. So I got to look to what do I need to clean. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we have to have some kind of intention that has to do with you personally in the clearing.
Okay. Well, I did notice, Sandy, that there's still some grief from the last suicide because she had sent me a text that said that I just killed myself. Please check your email on what to do. And then she said, I love you. And then so I noticed, and then I did check my email, and there was written instructions on what to do and the same verbiage. So I noticed that there's some trauma still with
Right.
that. With
Would
that,
you
yes.
call it guilt?
No, I don't think it's. I've gone past the guilt,
Okay.
but there's a trauma through having to go through that experience within seconds to have to call 911 and try
What?
to go through that whole experience because she left she left instructions for me on what to do with her body and everything, and
Right.
I had trauma trying to save her life. I was hoping there was a part of me that was hoping she was just playing a sick game and that it wasn't really real.
I understand. So maybe we could put the intention to be something like my intention is to release my grief, my trauma, and my and all that I went through that was very shocking and upsetting to me in order to come to pure peace with her death and others also who have gone through suicide. So you have to say it in your words because intention is very specific to the person. So that's how I might say it. But what would you say? What would be your overall intention?
My intention is to come to peace with the situation of the suicide with her and with all others, and that I did my very best, and that I'm at peace, and that this is what this person chose.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We don't have it too big.
Okay.
Intention is to come to peace with her suicide and all others, and get that was their choice.
Yes.
That's it. You know, because the intention has to be short. If it's long-winded, it's starting into the ego mind circle.
Okay.
Perfect. Now the next part in this is always a prayer to Holy Spirit or universe or yeah. So we can say Holy Spirit or universe or God or anything you want to direct it to, universe consciousness. Show me within my own ego mind and my own subconscious specifically, anything that I have to look at that pertains to me so that I can bring it up and release it. So that's always the thing we're looking at, so that I can bring it up and release it. So you say it any way you want.
Holy Spirit, please show me that I can look at anything towards this suicide or this pain that so that I can release it.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. And remember what I said in call number 1 and call number 3. I said the unconscious and subconscious of our ego illusion will only release what it's ready to release, kind of like ripe fruit falling from a tree. It will only let go of what it is ready to let go of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. It will only let go of what it already. Can't push it. Can't force it. We're not here excavating. We are looking at what is ready to go right now in this clearing process that I no longer need anymore or no longer want. Okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. So, let's see. So we're going to start off with the format. Do you want to, you have all the format, you put the format there, Lynn and Bob, the clearing format in terms of step 1, step 2, and step 3?
It's in the window.
Yes, it's there. In the
All right. So we're starting out directing it to it. You can direct the first part of step 1. It can have sentences that go to you using your name. You can have sentences that go to the lady who took her life, or anyone else that that you're going to work with who also took their life or thought they wanted to take their life, because they're all interacting with you. So it can be anybody that you interacted with, this feeling of suicide. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a structure. What I want you to know, someone, your name or someone's name, I think, feel, or believe one of those perceptions, which makes me feel something. And the dislike when part, where you close your eyes and see if it can go back to a scene from your past where you actually experienced this before. Okay? And
Okay.
it would be especially a scene of your early, what I call family of origin, if possible. But it can be any scene. So whatever scene you get is perfect. Okay, shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay, so you start out. What I want you to know.
What I want you to
Yeah.
know, Karen,
Mhm.
is that I think, feel, and believe.
One of them.
Oh, is that I feel
Mhm.
pain,
Mhm.
which makes me feel grief,
Mhm.
just like when you killed yourself.
Okay. Okay. I'll say thank you, which means I hear you, I'm listening to you, and I'm with you. Um, so you're looking for the words here you use, which were your feeling words, pain and grief. So if you say pain and grief, can you say pain and grief?
Pain and grief.
Just like when, and close your eyes and see if there's a scene from your past where you absolutely felt pain and grief as a child, or you were being asked to do something as a child that you felt pain and grief about doing, because you mentioned that in the story that you told. You were given a series of tasks, and it was maybe even overwhelming at the thought of her death, and that now you're going to complete these tasks. Do you see any scene where you felt overwhelmed as a child?
Sandy, what I'm seeing is my grandfather in the prison camp being lined up and possibly shot at. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay, and how does that make you feel?
Scared.
Scared.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Maybe even overwhelmed.
Yes.
Would that word apply here?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's start out the scene. Let's have the next sentence maybe saying, what I want you to know, Karen, I felt overwhelmed when I received the text and the email. And then you go on from there, say what you felt.
What I want you to know, Karen, I felt overwhelmed when I received the text and the email. Is that?
Yes. And were there any other feelings like shocked, surprised, caught off guard? I mean, anything you want to say besides overwhelmed? I just gave you that one.
Disbelief, because part of me, I thought she was really playing a
You're
game.
talking directly to her, like it's direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disbelief, Karen, because I thought you were playing a game, a sick game of saying you were going to commit suicide.
Right. And that you were trying to trap me in it or something, or get my attention, or what did you think she was trying to do?
Get my attention. Get my attention. Yeah. Kind of like she just wanted my full attention.
Say it to her. Say it directly. You wanted my full attention.
You wanted my full attention, Karen.
And you didn't think there'd be another way to get it? Or this was the best way?
And this was the best way for you to get it, was to threaten suicide.
Right. And that again. So it was more than one time.
Yes.
And it makes me feel.
And it makes me feel like I want to cry.
Right. Very sad.
Very sad.
Okay. So then say very sad, just like when.
Very, very sad, just like
Does it
when
say it again?
um
Any,
very sad, just like um when I was a small child and I had to hear the stories of what my grandparents went through in the prison camp, my mom.
right. And I
felt helpless
and powerless
and powerless, yes,
to do anything.
to do anything, Karen.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm saying thank you, which means I hear you. I'm listening to you. You just take it
Okay.
in. And
Okay.
I'm holding the space for you while you go through this whole experience.
Okay.
Okay. So take another one. What I want you to know, Karen.
What I want you to know, Karen, is that
Yeah.
do I say it? Is
Yes.
that I can't trust you.
I feel I can't trust you.
Yeah, I feel I can't trust you.
In what way?
Because I feel like you just play games with me.
And try to
About
manipulate me?
and try to manipulate me with your suicide like you've done in the past. And you never really did the act except this time.
Right. And I felt when you finally did the act,
When you finally did the act, I felt disbelief and then shock and then total grief and pain and remorse, deep remorse
remorse that
that I lost my best friend. I lost someone in the physical body that I loved.
right. And that my love or my attention wasn't enough.
Yes, that my love or attention wasn't enough.
And therefore I felt
Um, therefore, I felt like unneeded.
right. Unneeded. Anything else?
Just deep sadness towards it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Take another sentence to her.
You want me to say what I want you to know, Karen?
Yes. In other words, anything about your relationship, how you felt you gave to her, what you were involved with, anything you want to say. Just be as complete as you possibly can. Say all. Say everything. Don't edify. Don't stop yourself. This is your chance to get it all out. That's what this is for.
What I want you to know, Karen, is that I want you to know that I was always kind to you and I was always there to listen to you and I was always there for you and that I wanted to help you, but
And I felt that would you say something which makes me feel like I didn't do it good enough, I didn't do enough, or that I felt unreceived, or see, look how you felt about it. I felt I gave you my all. Is that true?
I felt I gave you my all. Yes, I really did. I really do. I really did.
Okay, and so your opting out made me feel
Your opting out, Karen, made me feel kind of unworthy. It's like a form of unworthiness. Like uh, I couldn't change her mind. Her mind was made up.
say it directly to her. I couldn't change your mind.
I couldn't change your mind, Karen. Your mind was made up. You wouldn't listen. Your ears were closed to me.
Right. And that made me feel
Just grief and sadness. Overwhelmed with grief and sadness.
and maybe hopeless and helpless.
And helpless, yes.
And say helpless just like when?
Helpless, just like when my first husband, it brought back feelings of my first husband, Robbie, who would lock himself in the bathroom and tell me he was going to inject air with needles in his veins, and then he would fake drop himself So, and I would have to bang on the door because the door was locked. And it was a game that he
Right,
played till he finally did commit suicide.
right. Just like you.
Just like you, Karen.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying thank you to hear
right.
thing. So let's go to the beginning again. So do you want to say anything to your first husband, Robbie? I think his name is Robbie.
Robbie, yes.
Okay, or anything more to Karen? Like, how about something like this? What I want you to know, Karen, you assume that I'm going to take care of you in death, like I did in life. That I would do all these tasks without having been agreement that I would do all these tasks. Frankly, I'm in such overwhelm. I really don't want to do all these tasks right now. I just need to be with myself and process and come to peace. So what do you want to say about that? Like you assumed I'm going to do all these things.
Uh, I do, Karen. I feel like
What I want you to know, Karen.
what I want you to know, Karen, is that I, I think that it makes me feel like you knew that I was going to pray for you, and you knew my ways. And like in Tibet, they pray for um, a person for 40 days, and you knew all this. And so I was overwhelmed because I, of course, love you and love doing that for you, but it's a lot. I'm overwhelmed, and I still am constantly praying for you and for my ex-husband Robbie and for Rosalind, who also committed suicide, and then also for my current son who manipulates that, and he may be manipulating me because of the stories of what's gone
Right.
through in this experience too.
Thank you. So talk to yourself now. What I want you to know, Michaela.
What I want you to know, McKaylee, is that you're a beautiful, loving, kind person, and that you can do this and you can walk through this, and that uh, your experience, this classroom, that you can go through it with peace and love and forgiveness. And the Ho'oponopono prayer really works well for me.
Right. Thank you. So what do you want to do? Step one is to talk with your ego. So it's a discussion or report from your ego, as you see it says in the first sentence. So it would be, of course, everything you say is perfectly viable right now. But the next thing you'd want to say here is, what does your ego say about, like, what I want you to know, McKaylee? You have felt that you have given so much to your first husband. You have given so much to your best friend, Robbie, and anything else you want to say here that you felt you gave all. You were looking at every angle, how you could be helpful and help them, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then how you felt that they gave up and left you there and kind of died, and you were left creating what was next for their whole lifetime. In other words, when he died, your first husband, you had to do the same thing as you did with Robbie. Take care of everything, pick up the pieces, go through the whole death process. So let's take it there for you, okay?
uh, my with my ego,
Yes, remember,
yeah,
step
I
one is
feel
all about what your ego thinks. It's
my,
not a report from your higher self. It
okay.
is, as I say, a report from your thinking, feeling, belief, and perception on the topic we're on, which is people committing suicide that you knew or were very close to. And maybe it relates to your whole family of origin as to how these prisoners of war or were also in a helpless, controlled state. So it is all interacting together as puzzle pieces, forming one egoic story that you're clearing here, and you're moving in a direction here. So do you have another sentence you'd like to say in step one?
Look at step one.
Yes, what I want
Okay.
to know, or
What I want you to know, Robbie, is that I think, feel, and believe uh, that you're total narcissistic and selfish, um, and just thinking about yourself, which makes me feel sad, and uh, that I'm not going to buy into your victim mentality.
Okay, and maybe even alone. That I
Alone.
yeah.
Yes.
When you said makes me feel, it has to be feeling words like alone and maybe even abandoned.
I feel, yes, abandoned, definitely, and alone.
Mhm. Okay, just so we say those feeling words again, like alone, abandoned, sad. It gives you a cue to the unconscious to look in there into what we might call a cave with a light. Is there anything else down there that this idea of being alone, abandoned, rejected? You did everything you could think of to help him save his life and look at it from different points of view, and it might bring up something where you felt thwarted, alone, abandoned in your subconscious from your story of your past or your family of origin. Is there anything else that it brings up?
Really, it makes me feel abandoned. That's
Okay, abandoned like when? When were you abandoned? Did you feel abandoned as a child?
well, every time that Robbie would bring up suicide or fake it would make me feel abandoned because I was uh, trying as his wife to do everything I can, and even trying to read books on what the Vietnam vets went through. So yeah, so I feel abandoned.
Right, abandoned. Okay, and anything as a child where you felt abandoned? Like in any time before you were 7, did you have any experiences where you felt abandoned and alone and rejected and overwhelmed in your actual, that you can remember in your unconscious there or in your memory bank? Anything that comes up?
Uh, not, not really. I mean, my mom got divorced, but I always connected. We had horses, and so I always connected with the horses. I would go off by myself and connect with the horses. So
How old were you when your mom got divorced?
she left my dad when I was 8 months old.
Wow, so that's a very early separation.
Yes.
Right, and you don't remember much about it in your memory bank, that you felt this or went through anything that you could tell us about from your early time?
No, we went to go live with my German Polish grandparents, and they were very kind and loving and nurturing
Okay,
to us.
okay, and that was you and your mother
And my brother and sisters.
and your brother.
Yeah, my brother and my sister.
Okay, and are they still all alive?
Uh, yes.
Your mother, your brother, and your sister are all alive.
Yeah, my sisters.
Your sisters.
Uh-huh.
Wow, you have more than one. Fantastic. Okay, so is there anything else in step one you'd like to add to the step one about the feeling of suicide, feeling overwhelmed, feeling about being left even by these people chosen to be very close to them, and then all of a sudden they leave and decide to kill themselves, and leaving you with the details of what follows next? Is there anything else you want to share in that structure of the clearing in step one?
I selfishness. I just feel it's really a
Okay, so
form
say
of
it directly to them.
selfishness.
Remember, this is a direct thing. What I want.
What I want you to know, Robbie and Karen, is that I think, feel, and believe that it's total selfishness
For
on
you to leave.
that you believed you could kill yourself and then overwhelm me with picking up the pieces for you.
Right, right. And I felt I had to do it.
I felt I had to do it because I did have to do it. It was my job.
Right. And it was a job I didn't agree to consciously.
I did not, it's a job I did not agree to consciously, yes.
Right. So I felt almost uh controlled,
Over,
put upon, or manipulated.
yes, I felt manipulated, controlled, overwhelmed.
Hmm. I felt it was all too much for me.
Yeah, I felt it was all too much for me.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So whatever happened when your dad and your mom split up? You said your mom got divorced. What about your dad? Did he get divorced too?
Yeah, my dad is from India, and he wasn't used to American women, blonde, blue-eyed women. So my dad went crazy with women.
Right, being overwhelmed by many women.
He was overwhelmed by many women, yes.
Is he still alive?
No, my dad passed away, and I had to take care of that too. He put me in charge. So I've always, yeah, but he passed away from natural causes.
Right. Which had a different effect.
It did have a different effect. My dad, okay, so abandonment. My dad had a girlfriend, and my dad was in ICU and he was passing away, and the girlfriend was trying to get a minister. This was in California from Las Vegas to come and do a bedside wedding so that they could get me kicked off the will because I was executrix of it that when my father was in his right mind. So that was I did have the Course in Miracles at that time, Sandy.
Right.
But my youngest son, Dakota, was 6 months old at the time, and I just told my dad that I forgave him. I pictured Jesus next to me, and
Okay.
I walked away from that scene, and he died, and they were not able to get a minister to come out and do a bedside wedding in ICU. So, but I guess that's a form of abandonment too. Again, rebringing that abandonment and that victim mentality, but it worked out
Yeah.
in love
Yeah.
because of really taking Jesus's hand.
Right. Say it to him if you have a sentence you can put into step one.
Okay, I want you to know, Dad, that I think, feel, and believe that when you were trying to do the bedside wedding in ICU, um,
It made me feel
it made me feel unloved, hurt,
unappreciated.
unappreciated.
Right. Just like when?
Just like when,
From when you were in early childhood, is there any time you felt you gave all? Because this is a theme you're saying here in many ways. I've given all, I've helped in every possible way, I've thought of everything. And in the end, I still feel abandoned, rejected, not seen, or appreciated. It is a theme.
okay.
Do you see anything in your childhood where you didn't feel abandoned, where you felt abandoned, unappreciated, not seen, not really taken in for all you have?
Well, my mom had a lot of kids to take care of, and she was a very good wife. So
And
yeah, I think she just kind of, you know, uh, ignored ignored you in a way. I mean, she was
okay,
always kind, but yeah,
I felt ignored,
ignored, yeah,
unappreciated,
unappreciated,
and
right,
unseen.
and unseen. Yes.
In other words, we have to own the feelings, the thoughts, and the beliefs of the clearing. This is my movie, and I'm clearing it. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Not to dwell in it, not to bask in it, not to enjoy it, but to really say it, and so that I'm clear, owning what I say. That's what I'm clearing here. What I think, feel, and believe. Okay, you've done very well. Is there anything else in step one you want to add?
No,
Okay.
I
And
feel a
this
lot better.
demonstration is a little different than the one that I did with Mickey, where I went more to quickly through step one, step two, and step three on certain statements. This one, I've taken all of step one. Now I'm going to do all of step two, which is a forgiveness for thinking, feeling, and believing, and a step three, which is forgiveness for forgetting something in big T in eternity and big T truth. So now we're up to forgiving everything that it says about you that you could take it to mean. Uh, that's what we're actually forgiving, not what they did, not what they said, but everything it said about you. So I'll start out like this. Do you want to read the sentence?
Okay, I'm looking what Lynn has on the here. Okay, person A. What I want you to forgive me for, Robbie, is for thinking, feeling, and believing.
It has to be one of them. Thinking, feeling, or believing. In general, we're choosing one of these perceptive words,
Believing.
right? That
Believing that nobody cares or that your life isn't important.
But remember, what we're actually forgiving is what
Okay,
you say about you.
believing that I don't care,
Believing that I don't matter.
that I don't matter.
Right. Did you feel that way when whatever he did, and kind of like you were left to do all the details, like you don't matter, and you were unimportant, something like that, right?
Yes.
So you say it. In other words, how did it make you feel believing what about you, like that I was unimportant and that I didn't matter and that I was valueless to you, something like that.
Okay. What I
All
want
that
you,
I gave, or all that I gave. You know what I mean? All
yeah.
that I did.
Okay. What I want you to forgive me for, Robbie, is for believing that I didn't matter, which means I am uh, uncaring.
Uncaring. Anything else?
That I didn't matter.
Okay. Anything else? What it says about you?
Uh, that I was cold, a cold person.
Okay. Did it actually say that to you?
No.
No. Okay. How about in other words, it has to be something that you actually feel, think, or believe. That I was a cold person. Did you actually think that you didn't matter and that you were a cold person,
Uh,
or that I was valueless, unappreciated, unacknowledged? So, in other words, it has to be something you actually felt, which meant I felt was that I was
I felt I was, Robbie, unappreciated.
okay. All right. So I'm going to answer. Every answer that I give is from the big T truth, because when I'm doing the clearing, I'm the higher self of the person you're talking to. And they are coming from their big tree truth, from big T on the big T side of the chart in the actual big T and little t. Okay, thank you. That's not the truth. That's a story you made up maybe when you were a little girl, that you were unappreciated, unseen, uncared about for all your efforts. I totally get who you are and that you have given me amazing amount of love and support. And I love you.
Wow. Okay. Do you want? Very nice.
Yeah, just listen for 1 second. The most important part of this clearing is that you take in what I'm saying to you, because it clears the cellular memory of feeling unimportant, unappreciated, unvalued, and not wanted, maybe even. So all you have to do is just take in the words I'm saying to you when I answer in step 2, which is answering as the higher self of this person. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we're doing great with this, and you're doing great with this. So take another one. What I want you to forgive me for, Robbie.
What I want you to forgive me for, Robbie, is for believing that you think I didn't care about you,
Which meant I was
which which means I am unfeeling
and uncaring.
and uncaring. Yes.
Okay, good. So we'll take those two. So thank you. That's definitely not the truth. I know you completely cared about me and felt very deep feelings for me and deep feelings of love and support. And you have always been there for me and you will always be there for me. So that is the truth. And I love you and know who you really are.
That's deep.
It's truth.
That made me cry.
Good. That's release of emotions that's stored inside of you and you're letting it go. That is fantastic for Kaylee. Fantastic. Now, do we have another one to forgive for, say, yourself, your father, Robbie, Karen? There are more. You want to put them there? Dad,
Maybe my dad, yeah.
but I want you to forgive me for Dad.
What I want you to forgive me for, Dad, is for believing that you would disown me as your daughter,
And
which means
choose someone else over me.
and choose someone else over me, which means I am unimportant to you.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's definitely not the truth. You have been important to me my whole life. You are totally important in the eyes of truth and God's, and you will always be important. There is nothing but who you are and who you are as a child of God having total importance in forever eternity. And I love the one you truly are.
That's really deep too.
Yes, you will always have importance in the eyes of God as a child of God because that is the true nature of you.
That one too made me cry.
Yeah. It's a stuck emotion that is important to release, and that's very important that you let yourself just let it come up, let it rise, whatever it goes, it goes. This is true emotion coming up out of you of what you have held on to. How about this one? What I want you to forgive me for, Michaela, is for thinking that in the case of Robbie, Karen, and there was another person that I didn't do it good enough or give them enough or was worthy of their support or that gave them enough. Therefore, I must have done it not good enough there when they chose to kill themselves or whatever, how you want to say it. It is a forgiveness. I've made that all my efforts ended up in them anyway taking their life and that I didn't do it good enough. It has to be in your words. So say it to yourself. What I want you to forgive me for, Michaela.
What I want you to forgive me for, Michaela, is for believing that I wasn't good enough in this story, that which means that I have a victim mentality, that I'm unimportant.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That is definitely not the truth on any level. You are completely important in truth's eyes, in God's eyes. Your part in God's plan is essential. You have always been important and you have always given maximum love because you are a total love being. That is who you are. You will always be important and you have always been important into eternity. That is your true nature. And I love you.
Beautiful. I feel released. Thank you.
Good. And you've done a great job with this. So now we're up to step 3. Step 3 is like a capper on the whole clearing, kind of like to wake you into your true mind, take you out of your ego on the whole story. So it's always short sentences, and we can say it to all the characters that we have spoken to, like, what I want you to forgive me for forgetting. Say, Karen, that I have always loved you and you have always loved me into eternity. So it's a big T statement to wake us up to our true nature. And then I will repeat back what you say about her or her as your true nature. Okay, does that make sense? It's forgiveness for forgetting something in big T.
Okay. Do you want me to go on
Yes,
it?
of course.
Okay.
You're the speaker. I am always answering you and answering you to affirm big T truth. Everything
Okay.
I answer as the character is to affirm big T truth.
Okay. What I want you to forgive me for, Karen, is for forgetting that you are love and that you are loved and that you are loved in this lifetime and in all lifetimes.
Perfect.
And
That's it. Don't go in more. Otherwise too long. Thank
okay.
you. That is the truth. I am loved. I have always been loved. I am loved in every lifetime and all lifetimes. My whole nature of my true nature of who I actually am is love into eternity. And I love the one you are. That's like perfect. Take the next one.
Where is that one? I
That
see
second
step
person
3.
would be Robbie, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Dad? No.
Okay. What I want you to
Same.
okay. Okay. I got it now. Okay. Um, what I want you to forgive me for, Robbie, is for forgetting that you are always loved.
Thank you. That is the truth. I have loved you, and I am always loved. My true nature is love, and we will love each other into eternity. That is our true nature, and nothing can change our true nature. And I love you, and know you love me in foreverness.
Beautiful.
Now we can say to Dad, and maybe about the word joining, that we're joined forever.
Okay. What I want you to forgive me for, Dad, is for forgetting that we are joined and loved forever.
Thank you. That is the truth. We are joined in love forever. That is our true nature and will always be our true nature. And we are joined forever. There is only our joining into eternity. And I love you.
Beautiful.
We always say only big T things in step 3. So we can't say at the end there is no death. Okay? It's just a reminder of the big T idea, but at a positive level. What about to yourself? How about using the word worthy? I am always worthy, have always been worthy, have always been good enough, and will always be good enough. Something to yourself.
What I want you to forgive me for, McKaylee, is for forgetting that I am worthy and always am worthy.
Right. Thank you, McKaylee. That is the truth of who you are. You are always worthy, will always be worthy. You are always a being of worth and love and importance and value. That is your true nature. And nothing can change your true nature. You are valuable, important, and lovable and worthy. That is your true nature. And I love you.
Wonderful.
Okay. All righty. So we're good. Do you want to say anything about how you feel now?
I feel a big heaviness off my heart. So when we first started, I got a visual of my heart with some, like a cage over it. And now I feel the cage is opened up. There's no longer any cage there. It's like a bird set free.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So you're flying free.
Yes, I'm flying free.
I got a great image. Anybody else want to say anything? What they learned, what they saw, what they felt?
Yes, Karen has her hand up.
Karen?
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, McKaylee. That was so amazing. I felt cleared along with you. I really felt clear along with you. And I also came to the understanding and reinforcement that, especially with suicide, that it has nothing to do with it's just their decision. And so taking on any responsibility is always a mistake. And it really reinforced that for me. And it was beautiful because it really cleared me right along with you. I was right there with you, and it was beautiful. Thank you both so much.
You're welcome. And we always see ourselves in the person clearing, because we are all one. So we've got to see an aspect of something that has to do with us, or we wouldn't be even listening. So every time I'm speaking, I'm always looking, what has this got to do with me in any way? How is it me? Always. And I'm glad that you could see yourself in it, because that makes it so valuable that we're all seeing each other because we're all teaching and learning from each other at all times. Always, every minute. Hey, anyone else?
Yes, Rafi has his hand up.
Robbie?
Yes, I want to thank you because what I was able to do was bring up a lot of feelings of inadequacy, unworthiness, inability, you're not good enough, you haven't got what it takes, all of that stuff. And I was able to bring all of that stuff up and a lot of insecurity feelings and let them all go. And they flowed from me like a stream. It was a perfect. You were a terrific initiator, and I really am very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That is so important for each of us to go along with this and actually clear ourselves as we're listening. And we're always
But
participating.
everybody else, and everybody's doing the best they can.
Absolutely, and becoming more and more awake as we go along here. Okay, we're good. I want to thank you, Lynn, and you, Bob, for letting us do this clearing with you present and recording it and letting people see it and learn from it. That is so important. Is there anything else you would like to say, Bob or Lynn? Or Lily, who's here too with me, and my protege, my colleague, who watched the clearing, recorded it. Anything anybody would like to say?
Yes, Karen has her hand up.
Karen?
Yes, Sandy, I just want to say how valuable it was for me when the big T that you use, that big T, when you reinforced the truth, released so much for me because all exactly what Rafi was saying, all that unworthiness and the belief in the unworthiness was lifted because all of it was a story. And when you said the big T, the truth of what we are, the love that is only the reality, I felt that, and it really, I felt that release. So I just want to thank you for this because the process really, really works. Thank you.
Thank you for notating and sharing that so everybody can get that. That is why we repeat this big T at the end. The final capper is the big T truth. That's what we're all left with. What is the big T truth of the whole experience? Very good. Okay, so I wish everybody a great day, and I hope you'll send that out to every clearing this program to everybody who was there last time at least, so they can see the second clearing. And thank you, Mickey, for I think you're with us too, right, Mickey?
Yes, thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed. I feel so relieved. I wish they had your book and in every school that they taught it that they taught it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for saying that's a great idea to see if we can put this. I have a dear friend going back many, many years who has figured out a way to actually do that, put these kind of materials in every school. And it just by you saying that, it reminded me that maybe she could help me with that in some way. I don't know how yet, but that was an important contribution too. So I will say thank you for all for listening. And if anybody has anything they want to tell me personally, I'm totally open to hearing it. My home phone number in Bellingham, Washington, in PST time is 360-739-4602, 360-739-4602. And my website is www.sandylevey, Levey. And well, I love to hear from people. And my email is the name of my company, on purpose at sandylevey.com. I always answer. So if I don't answer, I didn't get the message either by telephone or by email. I always answer. Okay. You take care. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Sandy. And we will be putting this on our YouTube channel. We do have a playlist set up already for this. So thank you, McKaylee, for volunteering and allowing this to use you. And that's I love it. Thank you so much.
For posterity and having this clearing for everybody who's ever gone through anything like this to be able to relate with what you shared here. Thank you so much. Love you all. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.